So I chose to do my research on the Bangladesh arsenic water contamination in 1993. It was the largest poisoning of a population in history. It contaminated the groundwater and the drinking water. It was first identified, like I said, in 1993, but it wasn't considered a crisis until 1998, which is the reason it was the largest poisoning in history. It was first identified in tube wells, which is what they used for their drinking water. At least 50 million people were identified to be at risk. This picture over here is a picture of a map that shows the arsenic concentrations throughout Bangladesh's water. The darker purple areas are the ones with the most contamination. The health effects that it had was that it can cause different kinds of cancers, dark lesions, and such, like in the picture on the right-hand side. Um, the dark lesions are more of a symptom of the poisoning, whereas the skin cancer and other forms of cancer are the detrimental consequences that it had. The lower amounts of arsenic that you ingest can be excreted through hair, skin, nails, and urine. Um, it's also dose dependent, so it does have different health effects. The more you ingest is when you start getting into the detrimental effects, and the lower amounts that you ingest can be excreted from your body. The social effects that it had in Bangladesh were that people with the symptoms of the lesions on their skin, if they were seen with those lesions, they were shunned from social gatherings like religious events and things like that. Their kids were expelled from school, and people with jobs were fired immediately. This had the most impact on people that were living in poverty, as being fired gets rid of their source of income, and so they didn't have the money to get the treatment that they needed. How was this issue mitigated? So the way that they solved this issue, and the way that they still handle it, is they provided screening to wells. If the wells had higher levels of arsenic in them than the national standard, because yes, there is a little bit of arsenic in the water, just not enough to harm us, they would empty the wells into these tanks, as you can see in the picture, and mix oxidants and coagulants into them. I think that's how you say that. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. But then they would mix all that together to lower the levels of the arsenic in them, and then they would let it sit overnight for sedimentation before dispensing that water back out into the public. I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. I hope it was informative, and I hope it was nice. Thanks.